What's up, my comic book brothers and my comic book sisters from another mister? Today we're going to do a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 310, brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. Before we go into the review, I just want to let you guys know that this story, this issue, takes place after the Consequence of Sin storyline. I'll put the card up top and the link in the description if you want to check that out. But to sum it up, the mysterious and dangerous army of spawns continue to grow. First, She-Spawn and Reaper, then Medieval Spawn. Now Gunslinger Spawn has made his presence known. But who is a hero and who is a villain? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Now we begin this issue with this panel with recent outbreaks of an unknown virus the scientist community has been working feverishly for the past year. Research labs on a global scale have been hunting for an elusive binary combination that will deliver a potential vaccine. Now prestige and enormous amounts of funding will flow to the lab that can deliver a safe and effective serum. Now this scientist, this lady is looking like yes, this is amazing. You know, we've really come across, a serum here, a vaccine. Now the latest results, I'll get the calculations into my presentations this evening. Going in front of those who value profits over patients is never comfortable. She's about to do a presentation over the board, but they fund this project, and without him, this experiment wouldn't have been possible. So back in her office, the doctor spends 3 more hours making her final adjustments. It has to be flawless. She hits save before closing. So she goes into this meeting and tells them that with proper sequencing and verifiable data and government support, we believe our formula is ready for public use. And they're like, great, this is excellent. Now, are you confident there won't be any surprise? And she's like, yes, I even stake my entire reputation on it. And they tell them very well, we'll report your findings to the board tomorrow. Please give our heartfelt gratitude to your entire staff. Now, though her daily commute is nearly 2 hours each way, Dr. Mila Visor seems to take extra pleasure on her drive home this evening. Before leaving her car, she allows herself one last smile. She goes into her house, gives her hubby a kiss, and tells her hubby that the presentation went perfectly. The kids wake up. She tells the kids, what are you guys are still doing? It's time for you to go back to bed. But before going to bed herself, she makes one last check, and you can tell with her raccoon eyes, she tells herself she looks like shit. And her hubby tells her, well, look, you had a big day, you came across a breakthrough, get some rest, I'll get up in the morning with the kids, you should sleep in. She's like, I can't, my mind is just running all over the place. You mind if I, read a book or something? So she does that. But as she reads her book, she's so engrossed with her own thoughts, Dr. Vison fails to notice that the faint sound of crickets outside of her window has stopped, or that the wind has gone eerily silent, and the temperature in her room has suddenly dropped. By the time she does notice that, it's too late. Spawn has entered the room. What's keeping you awake tonight, doctor? Your conscience? And you can tell his voices sound like fingernails on chalk, just scrapey and eerily and devilish. And Spawn tells her they were right, and I'll be coming for them too once I'm done here. Now the cold room wakes up the last occupant, which is her husband. Now she's eerily way too calm that Spawn is in her room, and she just looks at Spawn like, they said you might come one day. And his chains gives her hubby a crack on the side, and he tells her, don't worry, he'll live, so you know. And Spawn's like, yeah, I do know. So she tells Spawn, there's 300 of us, you know that, right? And that's your excuse, says Spawn, that others are doing it, so you got to do it too. I get it why. It's in your nature. What angers me, though, is your constant recruiting of others to do your dirty work. How many of your assistants were helping you? 4? 5? And she tells him 7. 7, says Spawn. That's really impressive. They knew that changing your data and fixing your results would create an even more potent disease, not cure one. You want these medicines to get out, not to help people, but to taint them, in some cases even kill them. She agrees without saying explicitly that she disagrees by telling Spawn, you can't stop that. And Spawn's like, okay, I'm sure you heard what happened to your Albanian facility. That was me. And that was back in issues 300 and 301, which we did do a review on. I'll put the link in description as well, and the card on top for Spawn issue 300. Now Spawn asks her, what about your boss? And she says, my boss was never the clown. And Spawn's like, good, because I killed him. So what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna shoot me? Is that your plan? And Spawn's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot you. And she's like, that doesn't work. And Spawn's like, it doesn't matter, I made modifications, so yes, I am gonna shoot you. But the gunshot wakes her husband up, and he screams in panic like the love of my life just got shot in the head by a hellspawn. I mean, just another day in the office, right? So Spawn tells him, shut your mouth. That thing you're lying there, She's not your wife. She's a demon trying to live like a human so she can infiltrate the minds of others. They paid her well. How do you think you guys were able to afford all this stuff? All I want to know is now where she keeps your secrets. And he's like, I don't know. Listen to me, says Spawn. Don't give me that I don't know crap. You've got 2 half-breed kids in here. I'd rather not kill them. Not tonight, at least. Now, where does she hide her files? Now, they shared many secrets with one another, but one of them was not that she was a demon. But the secrets they did share, she did tell him that where she kept the secret files at. But you know what, Spawn, he doesn't give a damn about any of that. People are dying because the actions of these monsters seem to be growing. They're getting more confident that nothing can oppose them on a holistic level. Sure, Spawn will be slight deterrent to their overall momentum, but not in any meaningful way, not in any way that would make them think for even a second to ratchet back their plans. And Spawn unfortunately knows that they are right. He can't stop them by himself. Not all of them. He can take them out one by one, but how long would that take? And it'll give the agents of heaven and hell too much time to corrupt and recruit more humans to their cause, because there's only one true deadly sin, not 7. That's greed. Every day, each of us flawed humans is susceptible to it. Spawn knows he will never be able to change that, and that is just too insurmountable to fight against. Now, restless, Al Simmons returns back to his dark, hidden sanctuary, but a distant hum and echoing down the hallway tells him otherwise. He cracks open the door and, let's just say it's his birthday with birthday cake looking at him, blow drying her hair. But he lingers. He knows it's not respectful, but he lingers a little bit longer than he should. Hello, Al, says Jessica. And he just looks at her like, were you looking for something, says Jessica. No. Are you sure, she says. And he's like, I'm sure. Well, if you change your mind, let me know. And I'm pretty sure Al for a second had to have thought about, well, you know what, maybe, like that brother behind the tree right there. But at the same time, I guess I have to give him credit because there's so much going on in this war that this isn't a vacation, this isn't a war. The moment you lose focus, he'll get buried. And she's like, are you serious? Because I don't want to be a cold-hearted bastard like you, says Jessica. And you think I'm somehow less prepared for all this? And he tells her, you're predictable, that's going to get someone killed. And what do you care? You don't have anyone close anymore, so stop with your concern. They're out there, Jessica, says Al, waiting for us to slip up. If you don't have the guts for this war, you're no good to me. Get dressed. You need to see something. And she's like, really? You think I don't have the guts for all this when you saw what happened to me in Japan? So meanwhile, they go into this and they go into Spawn's computer lair, and he tells her, how many dots do you count on the heat map? 6,000. There's over 6,000. And you know what each one indicates? It says that a soldier from heaven or hell is 6,000 of them. They're there, spread across the world to create chaos everywhere, and they don't care how they deliver that chaos. Through war, political unrest, disease, it's all the same to them. Get humans to claw at each other's throats or be afraid of each other. That's their goal. That's why there's so many of them, and that's why this war is getting out of hand. I need you on your focus here, says Spawn. And Jessica's like, that's why I'm here, Al, to help. You're not the only one that suffered a loss. She suffered a loss too, as she's referring to next. So Mark comes in, he's like, what's going on? Just go back to bed, Mark. Just a quick panel here. But as Mark exits the room, Al begins to transform. And so she asks him, what are you doing? And Al tells her, something I should have done sooner. Her heart skips a beat as he leans closer in. Then Al goes back, and they teleport to a place that Jessica's all too familiar with. It takes place in Spawn issue number 300, which we will put the card up top there again. And it scares Jessica a little bit because she's brought back to a place that Nyx was dead, where she discovered Nyx's dead body. And so Spawn tells her this land used to belong to native people centuries ago, before they got wiped out. Then they built a sweatshop that literally worked their employees to death. Later, a union strike caused even more to die. This place is cursed to the ground, the bricks, everything. And this is a callback to what he did in Spawn issue 301 when he puts like takes his symbiote back. He is a symbiote. He is Spawn. Makeup, spikes, skulls. But all those Native Americans, all of them are going to join my army, because if they want some unholy war, if they think they're going to outnumber us, they're wrong. Dead wrong. Rise! Show them all the horrors they created, those native people, and they rise. And Jessica Priest is like, Al, stop. This is crazy. And Al can't stop. Hell's been abusing and torturing us since the dawn of man, with heaven at their side, so I'll stop when they stop. And that'll never happen. And Spawn, Al continues to tell Jessica, you were in the military. You know how enemies act. First, they try domination. Then those they're unable to control, they destroy. And the lucky few of us they can't kill, they'll find what matters to us most, and they attack it, hoping to break our resolve. So Jessica Priest is like, wow, I just can't believe you control the dead now. He tells her, yeah, for a short period of time I control the dead, but he only holds sway over them for a 200-foot radius. Behind them, from the shadows, one of the creatures shuffles slowly forward, gasping as it struggles to get enough oxygen to fill its damaged lungs, and that is Nyx. And Jessica Priest can't believe it, and she, like, in this moment of guilt, tells her, I'm so sorry, I should have been there. And Nyx hisses at her, and like a savagely corpse lunges at her to attack her like a shark in blood-infested waters. Stop, says Owl. Stop, says Spawn. And she retreats back, she falls back, and it's time to go. Before they do, Spawn asks Jessica one last question. I need to know, Jessica, do you still have the stomach for this? Because it's only going to get uglier. Not another word that night is spoken between the two of them. Spawn returns Jessica back to his compound, where she quickly dashed to her room. And as he leaves to find his own solace, he can't stop thinking how he's just tainted another soul because of his war. One that from this day forward will never be the same again. And that's where we end this issue. The next issue is Spawn, issue number 311. The Cult of Omega, which I'm looking forward to get into. Now, this is just kind of like a filler issue, just kind of to tease you. Hey, we're just going to prep this like a meal prep before we start cooking with these Spawn issues now. Now that the prep is in, you know what's about to go down. And guess what? I am looking for what's about to go down. Let's get down with the Get Down Spawn comic. So I'm looking forward to it. But with all that being said, link in description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. Spawn, issue number 301. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below. Let me know. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy, don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. And by the way, this review is sponsored by coffee, so if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.